Hello and welcome to hello and welcome to the channel Xcode Bill. It's your host Bill Yengo. It's a beautiful morning here in Cameroon, West Africa. In the previous tutorial, we basically created a Node.js Express application API, and we used TypeScript for that. In this video tutorial, we'll be building on that, and we're using that as a base project. We'll basically create a CRUD application that is create, retrieve, edit and delete. I'll be using a post object for that. Without much chit chat, let's hop in and let's get cracking. So I've made a copy of the TS Node folder from the previous repository, and I have put it in TS Node post. So we're going to go ahead and do a code TS Node post that will launch VS Code for us. If you come into the package.json, you'll notice that we have all the dependencies that we need. The only dependency that we currently have to install is UUID for generating random strings. So let's do npm install UUID. And then once we have that installed, we're going to go ahead into a source folder. Let's just do an npm run dev, and then let's go into the source folder. Let's go for that call types, and inside that folder we'll do a post.types.ts, and we're just going to go ahead and create our types. So in the post types, we're going to do an export interface post. Let's go ahead and copy what we'll need so we don't waste so much time on that. Let's get rid of the comments. So we're going to have post and then a create post DTO. We're also going to create a custom type for errors. So error.types.ts, and inside that we're going to go ahead and copy that. So basically we're extending the error, which is default for TypeScript and JavaScript, and then we're setting a default error message and a default status code. So let's go ahead and create a handler for that. So come into source, we'll say middlewares, and then we'll say error.middleware.ts. Inside here, we're going to import the next function, request and types. We're also going to import custom error, and then we'll say export function, and our error handler needs to receive, let's say, handle error. It needs to take in the error, which is the custom error, the request, response, and the next object. And then we're going to say res dot status of status code. Okay, this is going to be error dot status code, and then the JSON, and then we're going to pass in a status code of error dot status code, and then we'll pass it a message of error dot message. The next thing we're going to do is go into a server.ts, and below the middleware we'll say below the APIs we'll say app.use, and then we'll say handle error. So this will handle errors that we throw in our application. So in order to mimic a database, we're going to go ahead into source. We'll create a folder called data, and inside that we will say post.data.ts, and inside that we will import post types, post of type, and that will be post interface. And then we're also going to import UUID version 4, and let's create an initial post. We're going to have a post which is going to be of type post, and then we'll create one post function. And then let's go ahead and export a couple of functions. So we're going to say export function get post. So this will basically return the post, right? And then we're going to say export function post, which is going to take a post of type post, and it is basically going to do a post dot push, which is going to add that to our list of post. We're also going to have a function called export function update post list, and then it's going to take a new post which is of type post, which is an array of post, and also the updated post, which is going to be of type post, and it's going to return a list of post. So we're going to say post, which is our initial list here, is equals to an array, and then we'll spread out the new posts, and then we'll append the updated post, right? And then all we're going to do is return post. Now the last function we're going to have is export function remove post. Is going to take in a post ID of type string, and it's going to return an array of post, and we're going to say post is equals to post dot filter post, where post dot id is not equals to post id, and then what we'll do is we'll return the filtered list of posts. So that's it for our quote in quotes database. So we're going to go ahead right now and get rid of all of these. We're going to create our post service and our route. So come in here, and then we're going to say post.route.ts, and then let's also come into our services and say post.service.ts, right? Let's open this side by side. I hope the screen is big enough and you can see everything that we're working on. And then we're going to say import express from express, and then we'll say cons router equals to express dot router, and then at the bottom we'll do an export default router, right? And let's go into our server.ts and let's add that here. So we say app.use is going to be API slash post, and then let's import post router from routes and post route, and then the handler here is going to be post router. So basically this will append post, then API post, and then whatever route we choose to pass in. So let's get rid of the sidebar, and then we're going to say, so let's import a couple of functions from the express the post service. So we're going to say import from services slash post.service. We don't yet have any exports there for now, but let's go ahead and start with the get all post, and then we're going to have an area which is fine for now. So we're going to say router.get, and then we're going to have a /, and then we'll say get all post. So we come into our post service, and then what we have to do is let's import a couple of things, right? So let's import everything that we need for that. So we're importing the next function, we're importing all the functions that we get from our data. So let's that should be data slash post data update post, please. That is fine. And then what we're going to do now is that because we are lazy, let's put this on the side. Let's increase that a little bit more. So this is our post service, right? So let's create a function template because we're going to repeat that over and over again. So export async function, and then we'll call this function template, and it's obviously going to receive the three magic objects of request, response, and next. And then our template will basically be a try, catch, and then we're going to have a next with the error, right? So this is going to be our template. So let's make a copy of this, and let's come to the bottom and let's replicate that. So the first thing we have, the first function we have to create is get all posts, which will basically say const post is equals to get post, which is basically the function that comes from data post, which is this, which returns our list of posts, right? And then we say res.json, we're going to pass in our post, and then we're just going to add a count, which will basically say post.length. This is just so that when we're doing the fetch and everything, it will make things a little bit easier for us to see. Cannot find count. Oh, okay. We're supposed to pass this in as an object, right? So that gets rid of the error. The next function we need to create is create post. So we're going to come here, and then we're going to change that from function template to create post. And inside that, we're obviously going to receive some information from our user. So we're going to say const post data, which is going to create update post DTO is equals to request body. Now remember that this create or update post DTO is coming from these types here. Okay. And then once we have that, we'll say const new post, which is supposed to be of type post, is equals to, we say ID is equals to UID version 4, and then the author ID, which we're going to create in the next video that we make. So UID version 4, and then we're going to spread out the post data. Right, and then once we have that, we're going to use the function add post and pass in the new post. And once we have that, we say const post is equals to get post, and then we're going to do a res.json and we'll pass an object of post, which is going to be new post. We'll pass in the list of posts. And then we'll also pass a count of post dot length, right? So let's make use of this. So let's come into a post route, and then the next function we're going to have is post router dot post, and then it's going to take a /URL, and we'll say create post, right? And then the next one we want to do is to get a single post. So we do router.get, and then it's going to receive an ID, which is going to be the post ID, and then we're going to say get single post, which is going to be imported from our post service. So we go into a post service. Let's use our template function as usual. Okay, so let's do we have too many now, so let's get rid of one of them. Okay, so in our get single post, so we get a post ID, right? So inside our try catch block, we will say const ID is equals to request.params, and then we'll say const post found equals to get post, which is the function dot find. Remember, it returns a list of our posts, and then we say post where post dot ID is equals to ID, which is the post ID that we get. And then we're going to say if not post found, we are going to throw new custom error, and then we'll pass in the message of post with ID not found, and then we'll pass it a status code of 404. And if our post is found, all we do is write the status of 200 and then .json. Let's just pass in the post found, right? I think in our create post, let's do a rest.status of 201, which is basically says that something has been created. So that is it for the get single post, right? Next thing we want to do is do an update post. So let's copy our template function and let's give it a name of update post. We export in that, then we come to our route, and then we say router.put, which is going to take ID of the post, and then it's going to be an update post, right? So let's come into our post service, and then inside our try catch, so we say const so ID is equals to request.params, and then we're going to say const post data, which is create update post data is equals to request.body, and then we say const post from db is equals to get post, the function that requires the post dot find, and then we want to say post, we pass in the predicate function, right? So post dot id is equals to ID, and then we do the normal check that we have here. So post not found, and then we change this to if post from db just to make things consistent, and then we now say const updated post, which should be of type post, is equals to an object, and then we spread out the post from db with the post data that we receive from the user. So this will create a new post. So we say const new post list is equals to get post dot filter post, then we say post dot id is not equals to id, so let's change this to that, and then at the end we now say const post is equals to, so this will give us the new list of posts. So we say update post list, which is a function from our db, so new post list, and then we pass in our updated post, right? And then we do rest.status of 200, which is okay, and then we say that JSON, we pass in an object with the post of updated post, and then we pass in our list of posts as well, right? And then the last function that we will create is the delete post, right? So let's do that. Let's copy our template just to be extra careful. So let's create the last function of delete post. Let's go to our routes, and then we're going to say router.delete. So it's going to receive an ID. I hope I have that correctly. And then it's going to have a handler of delete post, which is going to come from our service. So we come in here to our service, and we simply are going to get the ID, which is this. Let's paste that in here because why? We are lazy. And then say post const post found, is equals to get post. I think we've done this before. This, and then let's say, yes, we're lazy, yeah. And then once we have that, we then, I think we also need this as well because we've done that before. That's why we're lazy. And then let's say if not post found, and then what we now do is we remove the post of type ID. So we using this function which goes to our DB and filters that out from the list of available posts, the post list. And the last thing we do is we say rest.status of 200.json, and then we just pass in a message that says successfully deleted. So our API is ready to be tested, and what you can do is you can install Postman as an extension on VS Code, or you can install the application itself. So we're going to come into Postman, and if you notice here we have URL API post, which basically is a handler for this. You come to environment, you notice that basically we don't want to have to type this all the time for the different URLs that we want to make requests to. So let's close this and let's come to get all posts, and we make a request to that. If you notice, we get a post and we get a count of 1. So what that does, it basically returns us this object. It calls this particular route and then returns us this list of posts that we have there. So once we have that, let's go ahead and create a post. So I have already appended or placed some title, welcome to Xcode build, blah, blah, blah. And then we make a send request, and we notice that what we get back is the post, and then we get the list of posts, and it has appended the new post that we just created there. Yeah. So what we're going to do now is, in order to get a single post, let's get the ID for that. So we get the ID, we come to get single post, and then we replace this URL here with the post that we want to get. So if we do a send, we notice that we get that particular post. Now, if we do make a mistake and we put, say, a D, and we do a send, we realize that our error handler is working properly by sending out the status code and the message that we send back. And then let's go ahead and change this back to what it should be. And then let's go ahead now and update the post. Now we're going to replace this URL here, and then we're just going to come here and say newly updated stuff, right? Let's do a send a request. We notice that it basically updates that. So this is the original post here. So it updates that, and then it returns us the list of posts, including this newly created post. Let's just go ahead and create a new post, and we'll say new post. Let's save that. Let's do a send, and we notice that we now have a count of 3 and then 3 posts, and then it returns us the current post that we just created. Now let's go ahead and delete one of the posts. Remember, right now we have 3 posts. Let's go ahead and go to the delete. Let's change this, the URL, that's the ID. And when we do that, post has been successfully deleted. If we try to delete that again, it's going to give us an error message. But then if we go now to get all posts, we notice that instead of 3 posts, we have 2. Let's delete 1 more, just for fun. And we do a send. That has been deleted successfully. If we try to send again, we get an error message saying post with ID not found. If we come to get all posts and make a send, we will have just 1 post left, but the count will be 1. Congratulations, you made it to the end of this video. I'm so grateful that you did. In the next video tutorial, we will be adding an actual database to our project, and this will help us to persist that data across multiple applications restart. I hope you did like this video, and if you did, please leave a like, leave a comment. Do not forget to subscribe to the channel and click the notification button down below in order to stay updated with new content as I do release them. Also, if you would like to see me work on something specific, just mention that in the comment section below, and I will see what I can do to produce that content for you. Until next time, stay blessed and in good health.